Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're talking about something huge. We're breaking down how AI is about to completely flip the auto industry on its head, not just in the far-off future, but starting right now. And trust me, where we're headed looks a lot like science fiction. Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's think about it in three big waves. First, you've got ANI. That's artificial narrow intelligence. That's pretty much where we are right now, and it'll take us through about 2030. Then things get really interesting with AGI, or artificial general intelligence, kicking in after that. And then, maybe around 2040, the game changes completely with ASI. That's artificial superintelligence. And that's going to change, well, pretty much everything. So we're going to tackle each one of these, one by one. We'll start with the current revolution with ANI. Then we'll look at what happens when the generalist AGI arrives. After that, we'll explore the mind-bending superintelligence era of ASI. And finally, we'll summarize how our role shifts from maker to visionary. All right, let's dive right in with the here and now, the era of ANI. This is the world we'll be living and working in for the rest of the decade. And the big question for all of us is, how do we work with this new kind of intelligence? So what exactly is ANI? Well, the key thing to get is that it's not a general thinker. Not at all. It's a specialist, a really, really good specialist. Think of it like a designer who can spit out 1,000 unique photorealistic car designs overnight. It's absolutely brilliant at its one specific job. But that's the catch. It can only do that one thing. And check this out. This table really shows you the scale of the change. This isn't just about robots on an assembly line. This is a total shakeup of the entire company. I mean, look at it. The designer isn't drawing anymore. They're curating the AI's best ideas. The quality inspector isn't looking for flaws. They're monitoring the AI that finds them. Across the board, you see the same pattern. Humans are shifting from being the ones doing the work to the ones directing the work. So what does this mean for you? Well, it kind of lays out a survival roadmap, right? There are basically three paths forward. Path 1, become an AI orchestrator. You're the one telling the AI what to do and judging if the result is any good. Path 2, double down on the stuff only humans can do. Think really creative problem solving or, tricky negotiations. Or path 3, become the person who keeps the whole system running. Learn to maintain the AI and the robots themselves. Okay, so that's ANI, working with AI. But now let's jump ahead to the next phase, starting around 2030. This is when AGI shows up, and let me tell you, this changes the whole dynamic. The question is no longer how do we work with it, it's how do we lead it. This right here, this shows you just how massive that jump is. ANI is a tool, a powerful tool, for sure, but you give it a task, it does the task. AGI, that's a colleague. It doesn't just follow instructions, it understands context, it can solve new problems it's never seen before. It thinks and strategizes across the whole organization. It's a whole different ballgame.
And what does that look like in the real world? Well, look at this number, 0. That's how many lines of code you'll need to teach an AGI-powered robot a new job. 0. It'll just watch a human do it once, and boom, it knows how to do it. Think about that. You could reconfigure an entire factory floor in an afternoon. That's a level of flexibility we can barely even imagine today.
So, if AGI is doing all the thinking and doing, what's left for us? Well, our value shifts to the stuff that AI just can't do. We become the ones who take final responsibility, the human who is legally on the hook if something goes wrong. We become the storytellers, the ones who create the brand's soul. We become the ethicists, the guardians, making sure this powerful intelligence is used for good. And, of course, there's always a place for the true craftsman, the artisan whose work is about more than just efficiency. All right, take a deep breath, because as wild as AGI sounds, it's really just the warm-up act. Now we're going to jump to 2040 and beyond, to the era of ASI, artificial superintelligence. And here, the conversation completely changes. We're not talking about jobs anymore. We're talking about our very purpose. What do we do in a world with an intelligence that's beyond us? And let's be super clear about what ASI is. This isn't just a smarter AI. We're talking about an intellect that is smarter than every single human brain on Earth combined. It's an intelligence that could understand the world so deeply, it could predict and even control physical events in ways that would look like actual magic to you and me.
So you might be wondering, okay, a giant brain in a computer is one thing, but how does it actually do anything in the real world? Well, the key, at least in theory, is nanorobots.
tiny, self-assembling robots. Think of them as microscopic construction workers that can build things atom by atom.
And this quote just nails it. The factory disappears. Just think about that for a second. There are no more assembly lines, no more supply chains. You want a car? The AIC directs these little nanobots to literally pull elements out of the air and the ground and build it for you right there on your driveway, molecule by molecule. So what happens to entire industries? Well, let's take R&D and engineering. For an ASI, any engineering problem is just a math problem it can solve in a nanosecond. So the need for human engineers, it just disappears. What about manufacturing and assembly? Same story. Why would you need a factory when you can build anything, anywhere, on demand? The whole idea just disappears. And management and finance? You guessed it. When you have an AI that can run millions of perfect business scenarios every second, the need for a human CEO or CFO, well, that also disappears. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. Let's look at the entire journey, from maker to visionary. This chart really puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? Look at the progression. Our role goes from AI times user to AI leader to purpose definer. We literally become the philosophers for this new intelligence. The impact goes from automating tasks to replacing entire professions to eliminating the very concept of a job. It's a staggering transformation. Which brings us to the final critical question. When AI masters the how, all that's left for us, our entire value, is to answer the what and the why. It's no longer about how to build things. The only skill that matters is deciding what we should build and why it matters in the first place.